Here's the moment of truth, our game is about to start and oh my god guys. Yo, what's up guys, it's ApTreX here. Today in this video we'll be actually testing out the CEMU Android on a very low end Android device. You guys already know this device very well. This is the iQOO Z6 Lite with Snapdragon 4 Gen 1 processor and almost 6GB of RAM. The total RAM is 5.4GB. I don't know how it's considered as 6GB. Nonetheless, in today's video we'll be seeing how well does VU emulation work with a very low end Snapdragon processor. So right here I have loaded the latest version of CEMU Android and this is the latest build, not the old build which I showcased on my iQOO device previously. Basically in this latest build I have heard from some people that the performance improvement is pretty amazing. That's what we'll be testing out on this low-end Android device. Anyways, to start off, input controls, let's set the controller 1 as VU gamepad. Go to graphics settings, asynchronous shader compilation is enabled. VSync has been turned off by default in this update. Afterwards, in terms of overlay, we'll enable FPS, CPU usage and RAM usage to see how much of the device performance does VU emulation consume, if that makes sense. In terms of input, overlay has been turned on, overlay controller is 1. Once that has been done, now we are all set to testing out some VU games on the low-end Android device which I have right here. To start off, we'll be testing out Shovel Knight and immediately it has successfully booted on this emulator. Now this is a bit surprising, I didn't expect it to start. The Shovel Knight is not a high-end game, so I guess it may work, but the thing is CEMU Android is still in its very alpha stages and that's why I didn't think that it supports low-end Android devices, but I was wrong. Right here you will be able to see Shovel Knight is about to start. Let's just go ahead and start this brand new game. The reason why I'm starting with a low-end game compared to the other games that I have loaded on my Android device is to test out if VU emulation actually works on low-end Android devices or not. And this low-end game, if it works properly, we can assume that some other VU games will also be playable on a low-end Android device. And I can also test out CEMU on a Mali GPU Android device if you guys want me to. Let's hit 200 likes on this video and I'll test it out on my Redmi K50i. Anyways, let me just go ahead and skip this cutscene and let's start playing Shovel Knight on this low-end Android device. There we go. We are getting anywhere from 43 to 40 FPS, which is kinda sorta bad, I'm not gonna lie guys, because this is a very low-end 2D title. But hey, at least a VU game is possible to be played on a low-end Android device. Anyways, that was Shovel Knight, it works, so I won't waste your time by testing it out even more. Let's reopen CEMU Android and try out the big boys, which I have right here, the Amazing Spider-Man 2, which I recently uploaded a gameplay about, and also Legend of Zelda. Let's open this game. This is the Twilight Princess HD and let's see if it works well or not. Now this game directly gets into the cutscene, into the 3D world scenario, so it will be very interesting to see how well does it work on a low-end Android device. And funnily enough, if you see at the top left corner, you will be able to see it's only using around 38% of the CPU usage and memory usage is around 980 MB, even though as you will be able to see the game is about to start. The FPS which we are getting is around 14, not bad at all to be honest. Just take a look at this. This is the beginning cutscene. Let's skip it and let's start our game. Now in my opinion, I tested it out on my iQOO 12. I was getting like 16 to 17 FPS in this game, so I am hoping that we get anywhere from 2 to 4 FPS, but at least it's not crashing, it's not throwing me out of the game unlike the many other emulators which I test out on my channel. These games are just not supported on low-end Android devices, and if it works with 15 plus FPS, then I would be really surprised, because that would be better than a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 Android device. Here's the moment of truth, our game is about to start and oh my god guys, we are getting 14 FPS while emulating a VU game. 17 FPS, 19 FPS, what the heck is going on bro? Wait, let's calm down for a second. Let's start moving our character around and then see how well does it work. Okay, so currently I'm controlling my character and now we are getting around 10 to 11 FPS and this is unbelievable guys, this is unbelievable. Literally on a low-end Android device you can emulate VU games with the help of CEMU Android. Now there might be a difference because I am using the latest build of CEMU on this Android device, whereas I didn't test out the latest build on my iQOO 12. So if I test it out and if the performance is super improved, then that might explain why we are getting around 17 FPS. But this is really amazing milestone. Let's move on towards our next game, which is a bit more graphically intensive, the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Let's see how well does this game work, and immediately you will be able to see there are no issues. Like the game opening speed is super quick, within seconds you are inside the game, no crashing issues, no forced off issue, no black screen issue. This is why I really I'm very excited about the official CEMU Android port. There we go, Marvel, and I'll be back once all of these cutscenes are over. And here we go guys, Amazing Spider-Man 2 has successfully started, and if this game works, it means that all the other Wii U games will 100% work on a low-end Android device, no question asked. And Snapdragon 4 Gen 1 is very affordable processor, like nowadays you can get it very easily for cheap prices, which is why this emulation test is really amazing. If you want to emulate some games and if you have only Snapdragon 4 Gen 1 device, then yeah, Wii U emulation is possible, Nintendo Switch emulation is also possible, and Windows emulation is also possible. That's why Snapdragon processors are always amazing. I'm talking about you MediaTek, you are not that great. Okay, let's go. Here's the moment of truth. The game is about to start, and one thing which I am really surprised about is the RAM usage. It's using I think around 1.1 GB of RAM, which is not that bad. It means that even if you have like 4 GB RAM Android device. Anyways, let me share and skip the cutscene and get into the original OG gameplay. The thing is, the FPS, it's not great, but at least the Zelda ran with playable FPS. And yeah, this game has lot of graphical issues, like just take a look at this. This is the reason why even on my Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 Android device I was getting like 16 FPS, whereas on a 4 Gen 1 processor you get like 3 to 5 FPS. Not playable, but I know that in future once the CEMU Android has been officially launched, it won't have these graphical issues. And let me max out the brightness for you guys so you can see the character a bit better. The graphics, they are just glitched, so it's not really worth it to try out this game. But I am pretty sure that if this game is running, then most of the Nintendo Wii U games should be playable on a low-end Snapdragon processor Android device. So that's the conclusion of our today's video. Well, we have another contender, MediaTek processor. If this video reaches 200 likes, I'll test it out. Till then, thanks for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn on all notification. Oh wait, okay. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.